So the last episode of AniMan Plus, we talked about Ayashimon, newest Weekly Shonen Jump series. We've now gotten
With best new MC.
big facts. Ayashimon, we'll go ahead and start there. Still fantastic. We're now 3 chapters in. All 3 are at least a 9 in my opinion.
They're all very enjoyable.
Unbelievable series so far. I said before the series was kind of kicking off that I felt like this series was getting to a point already where it's going to be like almost too big to fail.
Yeah, it really is.
Because of the amount Jump's pushing it, the amount of like Fujimoto, who, this is of course, it was one of his former assistants. He's already doing fan art of some of the characters before chapter 1. The Twitter was already reached 2K before chapter 1. Like, it was almost to a point where it was going to be too big to fail. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and throw out a prediction right now on episode 58. Come like chapter 12 or 13, it'll get a cover. It's going to get the same treatment as Blue Box and Elusive Samurai. It'll get a cover by chapter 12. I'm going to go ahead and call it right now.
Out of all the newest ones, this has probably got the strongest feel, I feel like. Because, even Elusive Samurai, that got really strong. A lot of people weren't initially feeling it just because of its building its setting.
Yep, which is funny because Jump was very aware of that because of how long they held off Volume 1.
Yeah.
They held off Volume 1 until they had enough chapters for Volume 2, so those got released back-to-back months.
Which was a very smart move by Jump. And then we have Ayashimon, which it's just hitting cylinders.
Yeah, it is. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. It's funny. It's got
enjoyable.
Great art.
The art looks fantastic.
It's comedic as hell, man. The character, our main character, Maru, is that his name? Maru. Man, he's a dimwit. He's a complete doofus.
He is dumb as a rock.
And it is amazing. I love the shot of where he's holding the door. He's like, hot, 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 hot.
He's oh yeah, flame breath.
Yeah.
Did he just rip a door off?
And then she's just like, the sprinkler. He's like, oh, that's a good idea. And instead of like throwing the door up, he jumps up and hits it. And she's like, that's not what I had in mind, but that works. Overall, the series is stupid, man. It's got a little bit of obviously like a One Punch feel or a Mashal feel where Mashal's like unbeatable basically and just beats everyone up. It's got those sort of feels. And then it has like all the different yokais and, basically the creatures. And then it also has like a mafia feel to it.
Yes.
It has so many different concepts all being mashed into one. And it's just hilarious. And it's amazing.
There's just final thing because it's still at the early stages, so it's still having the moment where all these yokais like, human can't hurt me. And the guy's in the middle of the thing of that and his body just disappears in his head, the end shot of his head just wide-eyed on that register. Yeah,
exactly. Now, Ayashimon, I cannot recommend it enough. Please go give this a read. It's tough for me to see this one getting axed at any point. I really just can't. Out of every new series, like new series chapter 1, not new that we just start reading, every new series chapter 1 that we have started here at AniMan Plus, this is probably the one that I feel the most confident in. The only other one would probably be Kaiju number 8. Everything else, it's just we've said that it's going to be really good. We really enjoyed it for one reason. Like Red Hood had a phenomenal chapter 1, etc. This one though, this one's at the top. This is all right, this is it. This is the series, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. It is very good. I definitely see it doing a long haul. The only reason why it wouldn't is if,
Jump is Jump.
Yeah, Jump is Jump. I was going to say something else, but I'm not going to throw that out in the air, so.
All right, fair. Well, the next new series that was introduced the week after is called Protect Me, Shugomaru. I'll go ahead and say it up front. We have always stayed true to the policy of a 3-chapter try. Chapter 1 was enough for me. I don't care. I have no connection to this series. What you told me where you're saying it's not for you, but you see the target audience, that is so fucking true. I see the target audience of this series. It's just not for me. So basically
more or less we have a dim-witted kid who's been assigned to bodyguard this heiress of some sort because there's some evil organization who's apparently sent out a message some way to let people know that they're going to try and kill her. But this bodyguard kid has super tunnel vision and overly reacts to things. So for like in this chapter 2 that came out, there's a mosquito about to hit her. Instead of just swatting it away with his hand or a fly swatter, he has a giant mallet.
Yep.
And about to hit the mosquito and take her head off too. So, it's a whole thing of more or less going through her perspective, having to deal with this bodyguard and trying to live her life at the same time. So it's a weird comedy, slice of life, possible action mix, which really doesn't hit with Alex for me, but I definitely see the target audience going for. And And it's sort of also got sort of that older style vibe to me.
Yeah, older style is definitely accurate. It definitely has that older style vibe. And to give some more examples, like the tunnel vision thing, like she goes to like try to open a book and like the pages are stuck together and he like sets the book on fire and he's like, what if it was like a monster trap book? And they make a reference to the Harry Potter spinoff, Mystical Beasts, whatever. She's like,
oh, they make a lot of references.
Yeah, a lot of references. There was another one where you actually get to meet like the assassin coming to kill her, and Shugomaru like put poison gas in the entire room. But then she points out, it's like, so that means we're gonna die too, right? And Shugomaru's like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we are. So it's just, I mean, could it be entertaining for some people? Yeah, because it's going to be a comedic slice of life is going to be the best way to put it, but it's not for us. I mean, I'm not reading it past chapter 1, which also shout out to the fact that this is like the shortest chapter 1 for a new series that I've seen like ever.
Yeah, it felt super long.
It felt unbelievably long because normally they run about 55 pages is the average. I mean, that's what Ayashimon and the next series that we're going to talk about was. Yeah. This one was 35 pages, but it felt like fucking 65.
And I think it's because it has a lot of exposition.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, we're not going to be rating it here on the show. I'll go ahead and say that.
Also, based on chapter 2, it's got a running gag. That poor guy who got iced in the first chapter, he got iced again.
God damn it.
So apparently that's going to be a running gag.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to read it beyond that. So, and then the last new series, which a lot of people were actually pretty hyped for coming out. This is from the creator of a series called Golem Hearts. I've never personally heard of this series, but apparently it was a Weekly Shonen Jump series a few years ago, and it ultimately got axed very quickly, about 20 chapters or so. Don't quote me on that. But everyone really enjoyed it at the time. They enjoyed the art style and everything, so they were pretty pumped to see the artist come back to this series called Doron Dororon, I believe is how you're going to pronounce it. I don't know. We'll see. This one, another like sort of monster-esque one, like yokais essentially. And I mean, to me, it's immediately average in my opinion. I'm seeing people rave about it. I don't see, I mean, I see the appeal in the terms of this is a trademark Shonen Jump series because you have your main character that's like another Naruto, Deku, or Asta who can't do what everyone else can because he has no spiritual energy to become a samurai like he wants to do. He wants to become a samurai and slay these monsters and make the world safe and happy for everyone, but he cannot become a samurai because he has no spiritual energy at all. AK Asta or AK Midoriya. I mean, you tag that in with some action, with some monsters, and you have a trademark Shonen Jump series that a lot of people are going to jump on board with.
I mean, you say a lot of people raving about it. I actually saw a lot more people calling it generic and stuff.
That's what I would think. But no, I actually saw some, when I say a lot of people raving about it, it's more so a lot of like, I guess, more popular opinions.
Gotcha.
Were saying it's super good, for example. And I'm just like, I don't see this. I mean, it's the second best out of these three new ones, but it's not, it doesn't even hold a fucking candle to Ayashimon.
I mean, this series, I'll be very curious to see where the story progresses because based off this first chapter, it is very Shonen Jump generic.
Yeah.
I mean, as you said, we have our MC who has a disadvantage compared to the rest of the world, towards his main goal. He naturally finds a companion who can help him that.
Yep.
There's monsters that are evil who need to be fought and things like that. We even have our stronger, I assume, other human partner, maybe teacher, mentor, something or another. I mean, it was an okay read. Was I overly hyped for it? No. Did I dislike it? No. It was all right.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, it's one that I'll at least read every week. It'll get added to the lineup, unlike Protect Me. Protect Me is just already shafted in my mind. I don't care to read it. So at least I care to read this one, but I don't know. I mean, I thought it was okay. I don't think it's deserving of any sort of hype that it's getting, at least in our opinion. I don't think it is. I mean, it's very, like you said, the way you said it is the best way to put it. It's a very generic, trademark Shonen Jump series. But the problem is, even though it has like all these trademark things that you get out of a Shonen Jump series, it's not near as good, at least as of a chapter 1. Obviously, it has plenty of time to develop.
Yes.
But it's not near as good as what like a My Hero chapter 1 was, or a Black Clover chapter 1, which are also in a way generic Shonen Jump series.
Yeah.
But those are great. or, Black Clover's case, it was great at that time. We have our beefs about where Black Clover is now, but that's a different topic for a different day. This one, it's okay. I'll go ahead and say my rating for chapter 1. I give it a 7. It is average. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
I'll give it a 6.
that's about where I'm going to put it.